It is cool, and usually they don't really have a lot of good changes.
Yeah,
Like one thing that I wanted for honestly 6 years now already is that the moment I raid someone, I want my stream to automatically go offline. I don't know how this is not possible.
Because it doesn't make any sense, right, to raid someone and stay online.
Yes,
Because you're literally giving all your views away.
It makes absolutely no sense. I mean, they can't even see your stream unless they're tuned into Team Liquid. Because if they're on your Twitch stream, it shows the other one. So yeah.
That's I never actually really thought about that. But yeah, it is kind of stupid. Amazing. All right, we're gonna start up on Frostline for our first game of this series. Reynor is the red Zerg in the top right-hand side, representing Basilisk, and looking to see if he can get back on track against that Protoss player he's had troubles with recently.
That Protoss player in the bottom left is herO, who missed the block already. Actually missed a block on a 16 hatch. And Reynor's drone micro wasn't even perfect. But if he went for a 13 overlord, he would not have gotten the hatch down in time. Or maybe that's why it was a little bit late. Maybe his drone micro was fine and he did actually go for a 13 overlord again. But yeah, this is the type of stuff where these early game interactions, they can matter quite a bit. You would think it's just 20 minerals, but it can be the difference between getting down the hatchery or not. Especially now that it's a bit cheaper.
Yeah, no, these little kind of small tendencies that we've kind of talked about over a long period of time in StarCraft 2 really do have impacts. There's a reason we mention them, and like you say, it's a little tiny thing that can become a much bigger thing very easily, so it's kind of where we sit right now with herO not getting that block off, so we're not going to be pretty happy about the opening. Just going to see that probe moving around for a few moments.
Yeah. You can also get a good feeling about the rest of the match if you have a good anti-probe micro there in the start. But Reynor already messed up 3 times so far. I think messing up once you will feel good as the Zerg, messing up twice for me is the expected result. If you mess up 3 times, I think it's good for Protoss. And that, especially if the Protoss sees it as well, he's like, okay, I'm outplaying you right now. The Protoss has a good feeling, you're having a bad feeling because this happens with misclicks. Sometimes, obviously, it's hard to select the correct drone in the correct moment and then click on the correct mineral patch, so you can't always be perfect with that. But yeah, those small things also, it's like 5 minerals every single time a drone bounces away. You practically lose 5 minerals, and then that's also not the end of the game, but it's still a feels bad man moment for a pro gamer.
Like you say, they all just add up, right? So just the things that could have an impact. Like, it's not going to have an impact every game either. It's just some games it will come down to that. So see the hatchery coming down, third base comes in, obviously Stargate from herO. We're expecting to see a lot of Stargate openings from him. Obviously potential to go for a kind of a mix set of different kind of ways to follow up from that Stargate, but yeah, the general consensus is going to be this is going to be a big set of Stargate openings with that Oracle leading the charge in pretty much most of these games.
Yeah, the 3 games he won against Terran in the Masters Coliseum were always Stargate into Twilight. He won twice with Glaives, once with a charge follow-up. So we'll see if he mixes that in as well. Obviously, herO was the one that popularized the charge opening for a little bit, and then it fell out of fashion. I always expected him to come back with it, even a little bit sooner than later. When I talked with Reynor about this match against herO, I thought it would be possible that he brings that one for EWC as well, but he didn't. He actually just played standard every game there, which was surprising to me.
Yeah, it was strange to see him kind of coming with such a regular approach at that event, but he showcased why, because he did play at a very high level at that event too, so yeah, kind of worked for him. Sure. But of course, still very nice to be able to mix it up and throw in some different styles and just make it difficult for your opponent to, you know, necessarily always know what's going on and figure out what's happening. Those kind of things as well.
Yeah, so since the chat is asking, today it's just best of 5s.
Yep.
Loser bracket best of 7 was only Masters Coliseum. It's a Masters Coliseum specific thing.
Yep. Yeah, just 2 best of 5s today. So really not a lot of StarCraft, but such is the world. I actually kind of like the 4 best of 5 days. I feel like you get a good kind of decent stream out of it.
Yeah, it's not too short. You're not too exhausted afterwards.
Yeah, I feel like 4 best of 5 is a good night.
But okay, herO so far just going for some creep tumors, and now he's entering the natural main base territory, but Spark Crawlers are in position as well as the Queen, so can't get any drone damage done there. He went for a relatively passive opener with a very fast third base, no extra adept warpins. For pressure, instant Stalker warpins, and it's going to be Blink and +1 from him.
So pretty much the standard of standard as far as these PvZ builds go. and he will put some pressure on with that +1 and blink play over the next few minutes. We'll see just how well he can continue to do here as the Hydra Den comes up. The +1 missile upgrade is coming out as well. So we start to see exactly where Reynor wants to take this game with the Hydra is going to be a priority. It's just going to be Ling Hydra as well because there's no Rotoron in sight. So is there a world where Reynor can get aggressive with this, or is this a tech towards a later game in some way?
I do believe that he can get aggressive if he wants to, either with banelings or with quick lurkers, but you need the fast Hydra Den on this map, otherwise you can't defend your fort base. Like, no matter which fort you take, you can see it right now, there won't be any creep at it. So defending against blink stalkers, you simply need Hydras, preferably with range out by the time the stalkers hit, or you need +1 melee Zerglings, so it's really just one of those two choices on this map. The most common style on this map is Hydra Bane, where you try to kill the Protoss, since the Protoss bases are also quite open.
Yep.
And that is also automatically good against blink. So what we saw from herO when he played this map previously is he just went very heavy on Stalker Storm, even just on 3 base. He had a close match against Cyril in the Grand Finals on this map, where I think he had a bit of a lead until a very bad blink that he had. But aside from that, I think he's going to approach this very similarly. Just safe play, a lot of units. He already is getting a cannon and a shield battery, and then he's going to start Storm quickly.
Okay, so just really building up for that later stage of the game and already kind of saying like, hey, look, I just want to, get my tech online, get myself, some options with the Stalkers, but obviously get the Storm, get the access to the, things that will help kill Hydras, kill Lings. Reynor's actually moving down the bottom right as the Stalkers show themselves on this high ground. He could, I'd say, wrap around, but there's nothing to wrap around from the top, but he can force herO to run upwards as the Stasis Ward will go on just a few Lings, and the Hydras start to get here with speed finishing. Now Lings come from the other direction, and that's going to try and block any blink away, so pretty good movement from Reynor in these early stages.
Good movement from Reynor. Any Stalker you kill is really great because you don't really want to remake them. At that point, you want to start spending your gas on the High Templars. And hero's floating a lot of minerals. I wonder if he maybe forgot the extra gateways and where he's going to take. Is he going to take the bottom fort? Is there a probe moving there? It is. And it's instantly spotted.
Yeah.
That's bad for herO.
Yep, a good first few moments here from Reynor as he gets this spot as well after killing a few Stalkers and chasing this all away. And now just going to be having our Stalkers coming through. They're going to get rid of a couple of creep tumors there. But that's pretty much all they're going to achieve as Reynor can decide how he wants to do this. He's splitting some units to hit towards the natural, and he's going to have a few units also heading towards that bottom side base. So again, that information is already looking to pay off for him over these next few moments.
Yeah, that's obviously the issue with this expansion setup. Yeah, herO realizes he can't hold that already. Is expanding towards the top. These bases are so far apart from each other. Simply the natural and the fort base that he took are miles away. herO's also floating so much. He's messing up his macro a bit. Because Reynor is teching behind us. It's not like Reynor is all in by any means, but herO's floating so much that he's just simply behind in supply due to bad macro.
Yeah. Just making some mistakes, not being the cleanest of games as Reynor is just going to apply some light pressure. Like you say, he's teching up. The lurkers are on the way. Their upgrades are coming, so this is already getting to an improved situation, an improved state here from Reynor, so he's going to be feeling pretty good about that. As the High Templar sit here defensively from herO, and he's going to do the right thing of getting the Stargate and a second Stargate and a Fleet Beacon down, meaning that he can move into some higher tech air units, which if he can get to, is obviously going to be a big part of dealing with these lurkers. Is there any chance of Reynor seeing success before those Tempers are out? Obviously already poking right now, looks like he's going to have a good opportunity.
I think there's a very good chance. He's up 60 supply, his lurker range might not be done yet, but it's going to be done way before the Tempest show up. And I don't really see how herO engages into this. He's used up almost all of his storms defensively, barely hitting any Hydras, and I mean, he's gonna have to engage into the Zerg army here, which is just not gonna be pretty. Because lurker range is about to be done. He's trying to flank with a couple of Stalkers, but he's messed this up already, I think. Good blink from the back, actually. A couple of flicks of a couple of lurkers. But now the Lings are surrounding and he's not paying attention, and it's all going to shit, Wardy.
Yeah, Link's around's going to be very good there on those Stalkers. Reynor continues to advance through, and herO just does not have what he needs anymore in this game. You're right, the Storms really were not that impressive at all for him, and obviously was already looking like a bit of a dire situation for herO. In that kind of scenario, you got to be very good with your spellcasting. That way, it wasn't really there, and Reynor is going to swarm here on Frostline to take game number 1, just under 10 minutes, and gets himself, I mean, just from start to finish, a very comfortable game, right, where he, I think, has a good...
I have to change back and forth always between the difficulties of being a player and a caster.
Yeah. caster player problems. Never heard of such things. I set my observer settings up years ago and I've never touched them ever since. Alright. Yeah, in the bottom left-hand side, we're going to start this game number 2 off with the red Zerg player who is up a game and looking to keep on doing well for himself here. This is Reynor.
And his opponent in the top right down the map, it's a blue Protoss for Dragon. No, it's for Weibo Gaming. I think it is herO.
Yeah, Dragon Kaiser became
probably
Weibo and yeah.
I mean, I would tell him to change the name, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. He did change it recently somewhere, but like I think sometimes it comes in as like a battle tag, and if you change your battle tag and you can't change it again, it gets weird. The different UIs also like claim their name from different places, so. But yeah, maybe also potentially just different accounts and different servers are getting them messed up as well. Yeah, would be nice because my brain always just goes to read out what's literally on the screen.
Yeah, same. herO did manage to get the block this time around, so it will be already better. Hey, Wardy, what do you think about the Spark Rudder change? Like, we see a lot of mid games where the Zerg just doesn't lose many drones from the early game. Obviously, they're slightly behind from Queens costing more, but other than that, I feel like the early game has become a bit more dull in this matchup.
Yeah, because I guess now Oracles don't want to go diving as much. Or they just can't one dive and you can be done already. I hadn't really considered it. I kind of always found early game PvZ dull. I don't know why this matchup, obviously in the past, had a very boring early game, and for me, just watching Oracles and Adepts trying to find drones is not as exciting as like watching like a Terran opening, harassing and stuff. But yeah, I guess I hadn't really thought about it, but maybe it is kind of negative in that way. But like I say, I think in my head, I'm already just accepting that this is very much so a matchup that it is just going to be slow for the first few minutes and a little bit more setting up than anything else.
Yeah. I mean, as a Zerg player, I like that it's easier to defend the Oracles. If I was biased, but from a viewer perspective, I think it's cooler that we see more. We also barely see them lose any Oracles or something. Like, we see way less Oracles being lost, and we see way less workers being killed.
Yeah.
So we end up in a similar scenario more often than not, where it's a somewhat even mid-game, you know, where no damage really happens from the early game, and then most of the damage starts racking up later, or most of the trades start with when the blink hits the field, or the glaives, or the charge, or whatever, you know.
Yeah. I guess it does kind of make the earlier stages of the game, just like you say, like way more consistent, which is obviously less interesting, like you say, from a viewer's perspective, because then you're watching the same game a lot more frequently than a game where people have to adjust to the different workers that were lost, or all the rest of the things that can happen. So, yeah, I'm with you.
Look at that wall by herO, by the way. What the hell is he cooking, man? This guy, it doesn't take even. Realistically, it takes you like 5 minutes per map to learn a wall properly. And he just doesn't take his time. I think you should do that on day one. You know what I do on day one? I check all the rush distances of each map. And I see how quick the 12 pool arrives and stuff. And then I also check, especially if the maps are good for it, to base how I wall off. With Zerg, you would think with Protoss, that's the first thing you should do, and he just doesn't do it. And he always is like a pylon or two in the wall.
It's pretty amazing how consistently he just refuses to adapt.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Gets 2 drones here. So the Oracle flies through, and the Adept is going to try and take a third base, but the Lings are already there, and they're going to actually threaten the Adept. That's a surround. Oracle will have to activate. Lings committed for a moment, decide it's not a good decision. And now back off.
Yeah, there's not much Reynor could have done differently there. I mean, he could guess that the Oracle's about to pop. Yep. But I would have taken that fight as well, especially because he got a full surround. Maybe Fox frying the probe would have been better.
If the Oracle shows up like 2 seconds later, then the Adept dies anyway, I think, so...
Yeah.
Very close call.
Okay, well, here's a bit of a move out. How many Zerglings does Reynor have out? He has 8 Zerglings with 6 more on the way, which should be enough once they're all together. The Queens are all chasing towards the Oracle, which means now the Queens are completely out of position, and I talked about not many drones going down, but this is looking bad for Reynor because the Queens went super far out of position. The bases were not connected with each other. And a lot of mining time is being lost here, maybe not too many drones initially, but all the Zerglings that went down already, all the extra Zerglings that would have to be produced, this is already great for Reynor. If I'm herO, I would almost consider recalling, because this is already so good. But knowing herO, he would never do that. Okay, nice,
Wow.
nice. I like it.
Yep, just happy with the damage. He's going to get out of there, and he's just going to say, cool, got a bit of a lead from this. I'm just going to head back home, get my Blink started up, and maybe when he comes back across with Blink, he's going to have a good opportunity to maybe make some things happen for himself. So we'll see if Reynor's been hurt in the early stages. That follow-up becomes that little bit scarier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he once again moved out with the adepts. He warped in extra adepts, which need to get some more damage done now. Or if they do, it would be good for him at the very least. It slows down his blink timing. Those extra warp-ins. And they're super committed now. They're on creep. He's lucky that Reynor doesn't have enough Zerglings in position, because those should never have been able to get out there otherwise.
Yep.
But yeah, as long as he keeps him alive, they'll add some extra DPS towards this blink pressure.
Well, the shades keep coming through. Obviously, Lings will be in position, so we shouldn't see anything else really happening here, but we can continue to try and press the issue, as some adepts are going to come back down around the bottom side once again, so just going to head down to the bottom, and those adepts will come gather up, see if they can still find any openings as they just try and pressure. The Natch is going to walk into the natural and threaten the shade to the main base, so it feels like there's an opportunity here. The drones pull, the adepts will shade into a main that there's no defense in, so even more drones going down. Stasis just catches a drone and a roach. Continues to go very well here so far for herO.
Yeah, Reynor was planning to all-in, but I hope he cancels that plan, because you can't all-in after an early game like this. It's not a thing. Yep. He's re-droning back up to the drone count that he wanted to all-in off of. But yeah, I don't see it happening. He needs to make units anyways to survive, so somewhat of a defensive all-in, but... Oh, this is so bad. He's now also oversaturated. He accidentally put too many drones on this base now.
Yeah, just all falling apart as the Stalker's going to find the top left base. Fourth is looking like it'll just go down. Stasis Ward's going to pop by a couple of Lings, so the Stalkers can commit, but the Lings would be attacking them. Looks like we're still going to commit for the hatchery, and it's going to be the right call, because he is going to get it. It's going to be a nice grab right there.
Do the broodings that are stuck in the Stasis Ward disappear instantly when the Stasis Ward is out?
I don't know. I was thinking how it works with Swarm Host Locusts.
Yeah, they do die.
Yeah, they do. I would imagine it's the same thing, because I think they're just based on the same timer.
Yeah, should be. Okay, well, Reynor's gonna try to go for some Zergling drops now, but he's very far behind at this point.
Yeah.
Of the game. herO being extremely aggressive. That blink forward is crazy. Reynor trying to focus fire down both Stasis Wards. Doesn't get the second one. That's still a scary position for the Stalkers. Never mind. They just blink forward. Now the Ravager is stuck behind the Zerglings. And he keeps getting more forward. I thought he would then blink back to the low ground, but instead he just keeps going. He has confidence in his Stasis Wards and in his blink micro.
Some classic herO just saying, let's do it. Full send, no second thoughts, no turning back. Maybe, like you say, a little bit more aggressive than he needed to be as well. Especially when you're in a good spot already. Moves like that is like, you're taking a risk where maybe if you're behind, taking a risk is okay, but when you're ahead, it's just so much scarier. The Lings going to continue to chase, and we continue to try and put those Stasis Wards down, which are kind of looking to carry here for the most part.
Yeah, multi-prong Stalker is actually not common at all. Usually if you have one prong as the Stalkers and the second one is a more immovable force. And yeah, he gets caught. The Oracles are not here. This is an awful engagement for herO. Exactly what Reynor needed if he wants to have a chance at this game. It's difficult to blink micro on both sides. Now herO needs to recoil towards the natural. The cannon is not enough against the double drop. Recoils from his opponent's natural into his own. Something that I haven't seen before, just like that.
A little bit of a unique game, but we are going to start to kind of settle down. But Reynor definitely had a great few moments, right? Got in some good trades because of herO's decision of how he tries to fight. And then the lane drop pretty successful as well. Right now, the Oracles are causing problems as apparently you don't have enough anti-air, so that's a little bit painful too. As we just have the Lings now coming in to try and play cleanup on the rest of this army, and the Stalker's going to start blinking backward. herO still has a pretty good amount of Stalkers, but that is really what he's very heavily reliant on currently.
Does he have a Templar Archives? Because he went 6 gas. He doesn't. Alright, he's just gonna float gas like crazy. Unless he's gonna mass sentries anytime soon. Either way, his upgrades are good. I still believe in his spot overall, but he's being very aggressive for a Protoss that is on double upgrades and floating 2k resources. Against a Zerg that's on 60 workers, just messing units.
Yeah. Like if Reynor had a higher worker count, this would make a bit more sense, right? But Reynor is just building units too, so maybe he can afford to just chill out a little bit, head back home, get some tech online. Like you say, he's got a lot of gas that he could utilize that he's just not putting into play at all just yet, so definitely some adjustments to be made. Well, that could be made.
Now that all the Zerglings are gone, these blink attacks are becoming quite a bit more easy to execute. You can micro up against these roaches for days. When you're now counter-attacking with the Banelings towards the fort base of herO. That's 4 probes there, and it's probably gonna force a pull away from herO. Waiting for the last second possible there. Please, herO, come on.
Well, gonna lose a few more just to keep the excitement levels up, as we do have the Zealots and the Stalkers coming down to the bottom side of the map. Just gonna pull across here to, well, again, just try and set back up and deal some more damage. We have ourselves the Oracle's gonna go elsewhere. I mean, Reynor is still just building Ravage. It's not like he's had a chance to tech up into anything more incredible or amazing, so when you consider that, it definitely feels pretty rough still for our Zerg, which we've kind of known about for a while, but there's, like I say, a few moments of hope that maybe shouldn't have ever been there.
I mean, if he ever gets to max out, which I don't think he will, Ravager Bane beats Stalker Zealot. I just don't understand. He could even just add Icons and instantly the game would be over, I feel like. But yeah, this is hard to engage into. There's so many stasis wards. He recharged the Oracle's energy and now he's just messing stasis wards, using the Zerglings as a force field. Now Queens and Ravagers are getting caught on the top, and this looks like a good fight for herO.
Yeah, it looks like
I'm not sure about that.
Good enough to close out. Stasis gets a catch as well, and the Zealots keep charging on through, and herO supply is absolutely finally fully heading in his direction, and he is going to take this one down in his favor. So herO is going to get the win at the end. Just took a little bit of effort, and a game that just went very well for him from the start, and then, like you say, maybe.
I'm assuming that the first map pick was Reynor's, and then the next two are
No,
herO's.
it was herO, then Reynor twice.
And then it's AB, or is it ABB?
So I think it went herO, Reynor, herO, last map.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's the exact opposite of what I would have expected, because Amygdala I think is bad for Reynor. Okay, we see why he picked it then. He's in the top right hand side is Reynor getting ready for a 12 pool.
Yep, puts that straight down, so clearly something planned for himself in this matchup. Is in the bottom left. Our blue Protoss player is going to be herO, and we kick off into this next game with some aggression on the way from the very get-go.
We'll see if herO gateway scouts. He is gateway scouting. This is... Why the hell is he making an Overlord at 13? Did he forget how to 12 pool? What the hell?
That's a good question. You could have had one more drone.
Maybe. I mean, I'm not sure what the hell is going on here. Okay, he wants to fake a hatch. This is not a hatch first, my friend. Like, it's 20 seconds too late. There's no way a Protoss falls for that being a hatch first. No way. No way. He knows, right? Okay, yeah, he's making a second gate.
The mind game that never really had a chance.
I mean, I think Protoss players are not good at telling the difference from like a 16 pool and a 15 or a 14 pool. Maybe a 17 pool from a 16 pool. That type of stuff, but they will see a hatch that's 20 seconds too late and realize it's...
Not the right time.
It is not at the right time, yeah, I mean...
Yeah, well, herO aware of this. It's going to be Chrono Boost now. That Zealot, it's going to be there in the wall off in plenty of time, so that is going to be out and defending. And now we sit here and have ourselves a couple of moments where Reynor just decides what he wants to try and do, see if he can poke around for some damage or anything, but I don't think this is going to do much at all, so he just gets turned around immediately.
Yeah, the good thing for Reynor is the moment he saw that there was a probe scout, he stopped making links right away, so he wasn't really expecting to deal any damage to begin with. And he got the hatchery down. I mean, that is big. I still think with the extra drone he also would have gotten the hatchery down. Because he skipped the third pair of links anyways for it. But yeah, it's not as bad now. It's just a little bit bad. herO faking a Stalker, by the way, with that Zealot. He's gonna cancel that. Very cool move. Because he doesn't have the gas to make the Stalker, and he wants to prevent the Overlord from running into the main base. But Reynor doesn't take the bait and just goes in anyways.
Yep. Nice play. Cute little additionals to note. Cute little moves, like you say, as we just have the Stargate coming up, the Nexus coming through, Extractor and the drones continue to build on up. As the probes Chrono boost out, we have the Nexus finishing on the natural in the next few moments, so after a little bit of a funky start, we're off to the next step of this game, but I mean, how much does Reynor hurt from not doing anything at all?
I think he's decently behind, like maybe 60-40 already. He at the very least got to completely bypass Zergling speed, which is good for him, and he's not gonna get punished because there isn't a single Adept out. So that part is good. If herO was actually attacking on the other side, maybe even if he just made a second Stalker, like 2 Zealots and 2 Stalkers on the other side of the map, Reynor would be contained on 2 base forever, which is not the case now, so this game is realistically not that bad. It's still good for Protoss though.
Okay. Well, now we're Stalker pinging away at the Overlord there for a few more moments as well, so just get a bit more damage out. A little bit of extra damage coming through for a few moments. And we just have the Oracle coming back in, and once again going to knock down a couple of creep tumors, so it's going to try and stay as active as possible here as well, as the Oracle comes back over. Hatchery on the way on the 3rd base, and we continue onwards.
Glaives is being started, and he was going to take a 3rd base at the same time. He will have a good number of Adepts the moment this Glaives is being done, because his gateways were quite early. And Reynor is going +1 melee, which is quite bad for him, so... The drone count honestly is looking fine. It's more the army supply that I'm worried about. By the time this Glaives hits, I think he's gonna have a lot of Adepts. Yeah. And Reynor, I'm not sure if he even has a Roach Horn in time.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to just get what you need up here based on the fact that this game obviously started in a bit of a weirder manner for Reynor. His times are going to be off from the norm, and yeah, Roach Horn starts now as the Adepts are already shading their way across the map to make their first effort here, so it is not looking good at all for Zerg, and so the Reynor might be in some trouble. Let's see, as the Adepts will hit soon. We'll see if Reynor can find some miraculous fight or micro to try and save the day.
Not sure about that, Shade. He gave Reynor a lot of time there to get his defenses ready. I mean, there's not much Reynor can do other than making Zerglings for now, because as you said, the Roach Horn is not done yet. It just was started as the Adepts moved out. And the Adepts will find the workers. They're trying to force their way towards the workers. That was good zoning here by Reynor, making sure that his drones are safe. That Shade will most likely finish. And that's simply not enough units to kill these Adepts, I don't think. Nah, no way.
No way. Yeah, these things are just going to keep going down, so that's going to be pain, pain, pain. They're not going to have a good time here at all. And that's going to be a very good position here from herO, who, as long as he still has these freaking Adepts around, he's going to continue to deal damage, and Reynor's just going to fall further and further behind in this situation.
Yeah, that was not well executed, by the way. The last couple of shades were not good. I think he should have left some units in the natural. And he could have denied the mining of 2 different bases. And then he also didn't shade in front of the drones, because it was obvious the drones from lane would have to run. He shaded too far towards the left, so not on the path of where the drones would run. I think he could have killed more drones already, but that being said, I mean, it's still very good for him.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Very, very good, as we just have the roaches continue to come through, the Adepts continue to get chased around, and we just have ourselves the... I mean, extra drones still dropping. It's really not pretty, to say the least. Again, and again. It's pretty darn ugly for Reynor here, who is even losing a couple more drones to the Oracle coming back in. It gets 3 or 4 more. And Reynor's just stuck pressing the drone key, whereas herO back at home, getting some probes up of his own and establishments for the future. He's actually still, I mean, I guess he's building 2 mortals at a time, so he's going to go for a very aggressive follow-up and just try and win this off a mortal Adept.
Yeah, I wonder what his plans are, if he's actually going to go for a Mortal Adept Sentry, or if he is actually going to throw down a Forge and start maybe Charge or something. But yeah, the extra gateways lead me to believe that is, in fact, just a Mortal Attack. And that is interesting, because usually for these Mortal Attacks it's better to get 1 robo earlier rather than 2 robos later. Because he got 2 Robos so far, and he only got 2 Immortals, and then straight a Prism. In that case, you can just save the cost of the extra Robo and make the other one earlier, you know?
Yeah. Well, the Oracle's going to try and poke around still looking for openers. There's many more queens available now, as the Prism is about to pop here from herO. And he gets the extra gates up, so we're going to be full sending in the next couple of moments.
Reynor also didn't scout it. He's gonna scout it in a little bit. This is the first time he will see the move out. He has Ravagers on the way. He didn't overdrone by any means. He's actually on a very low worker count. But he's trying to get up a Baiting Nest, which won't help him too much. Being Ling heavy won't help him too much. Roaches and Ravagers is what he needs if he wants to survive this. I love that he's using the Lings as a counterattack. This should wipe out herO's third base. It's only a question of whether he can survive on his side of the map. I think he should give up this base for sure.
Yeah.
There's no way he holds that one.
Well, yep, this base is going to start going down. One of the spine cores that's built in the game is right there, unfortunately, as the Adepts are going to shade without the supporting cast there, so the Adepts going to go ahead of everything else. Oracle is lost, as Reynor is making a pretty decent stand for this initially. Obviously, he's not just wiped out the third, he's now wiped out the natural of economy as well, so it's going to be the end of the Roach run, unfortunately. So no more Roaches can be built. Does what he have on the field stand the test of time now?
It's a good question. The army supplies are even. He's trying to get up some Banelings. The Ravagers can always get some good corrosive bites in. herO is now super broke. He's only on 17 workers. The Adepts shade away from the army when the only thing herO needs is to win the army engagement. I have no clue why he did that. The Adepts have no business being in the main base of Reynor right now, honestly. It's a terrible move. And he's losing a lot of his gas units here. The Adepts now show up again, and that should turn the tides of the fight into herO's favor once again. Don't lose it anymore. He loses it. Doesn't pick it up. Another mistake here from the Protoss player. The Prism doesn't go down. He really needs to watch out with that Prism. I think he threw it. I think that was a gigantic throw.
Every move, he's going to lose the Immortal again as well. Oh my god. And he's down 12 workers coming out of it. Reynor gets the hold and the defense on 3 bases as herO just... Many mistakes, back to back to back, right? Just the Adept shade away does not save the first Immortal. It feels like every part of this just led to the next part falling apart even further.
Okay, I mean, first off, the Oracle should be going back to defend against the Zerglings. You can even recall it, right? That one was almost full energy. Then second of all, how the hell did the Zerglings even get into the natural? There were no Banelings on the other side, it's just Zerglings. You can force field them, you can warp in a unit, you can full wall. He doesn't lose that game if the Zerglings don't get into the natural. Like, 0 chance. Actually 0. So that is a massive mistake. But then why the hell did he shade away with the Adepts? I don't understand. I can, you know, excuse micro mistakes and stuff, but you have to understand that if you have 30 Zerglings in your natural, the only way you win is you kill your opponent right there, and you need to keep your army together. Yeah. I mean, I think that was crazy. I think I could have won this game with my off race, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was an ugly ending, unfortunately, for herO, and Reynor's gonna win this game, which he really had no right winning at all. Like, I mean, made some good decisions to give himself chances, but like he was in such a bad spot to begin with. Everything just going so wrong for herO, man. I mean, yeah, and on his own accord as well. This was his, you know, a set of his own decisions that led us here. GG. Crazy.
I mean, that one was nuts. Truly, shout out to Reynor for doing like all the right moves. He gave up the base. He has a perfect early game against the 12 pull. He scouts it at the correct time. Has a good response, gets ahead with the glaives, and then there's like 6 back-to-back mistakes to throw it. Yeah.
Well, going to Abyssal Reef as we have Reynor bottom right, herO top left, and herO instantly with the probe coming across the map to guarantee the block in the early stages.
Yeah, the only way this would not get blocked if it was a hatchery before the Overlord, which Reynor is not going for. He will see that probe and he will know that he has to take a third base.
Yep, we're just going to patrol. Drones go straight away over to that right-hand side. Just going to be pulling straight across for a couple of moments. Away we go.
I love how you can see how professional you are in comparison to me. My chat always tells me to fix the score and stuff. My bracket command in my chat is still wrong. They put exclamation mark bracket in my chat as Masters Coliseum. So people from your chat also put the exact same command and it's actually correct.
I mean,
it's pretty funny.
You know, I mean, this is what I do. You play the game, right? You don't bother with all this other stuff. I have to do this stuff. Like, this was what I'm brought up on. Just gonna see the Nexus on the way, by the way, so we really just take a few moments to get settled. In fact, I also forget the score sometimes. Like, it's like 8 minutes in game, I just forget the score, and it's like the game I decided not to read Twitch chat during as well, so it's just everyone's like spamming, and still just not there at all. This happens sometimes.
All right, well, not much different from 2 games ago.
Nope.
So the exact same opener so far. I'm also fully expecting herO to go Stargate. I think there will be a day where Protoss realize we completely forgot how to play against Glaives, and they're gonna open Glaives and get a bunch of free ones, by the way. Because Glaives is actually harder to defend now, since the queens are more expensive. You have less units against it. The follow-up of Glaives has gotten nerfed. Because whenever you would go 4-gate Glaives with a Robo, you would go into Disruptors, and Disruptors giga suck now against Zerg. Like, they're the worst unit you can make out of the Protoss arsenal, like legit F tier. So the follow-up is a little bit worse. You need to go maybe for a different follow-up, but I think you will get a lot of wins just straight up from the early game, since it's so uncommon. Like, everybody's just playing Stargate. I think this is the exact time where you start to mix in some Glaive builds again.
We'll see if he chooses to do so. The Stargate's about to finish, so we'll see the first Oracle popping out, and we'll see where the tech goes from there over the next few moments. The Void Ray, actually, going to be the choice.
Yeah, we'll see if that means that he also goes for a different follow-up. What the hell is this wall? I mean...
Sometimes it's better just to not ask questions when it's herO and walls.
Surely you can't always have 2 pylons on the wall and it goes well every time. Yeah, this map is weird to wall off, but there's also real...
There is ways to do it, like...
Yeah.
Everyone else manages it.
The wall is bait. Yeah, this is actually better than the wall he did in Masters Coliseum. In Masters Coliseum, he lost the game because he had a wall and Abyssal Reef where there were also 2 pylons in the wall, but there were, on top of 2 pylons in the wall, there were 2 holes in the wall. So at least the amount of holes went down by 50%.
A couple of queens flying away, Void Ray taking some shots, as we do have the Twilight Council and Forge both coming up here. From herO at the moment, the queen going to be there to push the Void Ray back through the bottom. And yeah, Twilight Council, Forge, Nexus, all coming online for the moment.
No kills so far for herO. And does he have a second Oracle? He doesn't, right? So that Adept will die at the 3rd base. Oh, he does have it, but it wasn't quite in position, so... Decent pick off there for Reynor. Rushes his 4th base, which is very nice because the Void Ray was out of position. If the Void Ray is there, that 4th base is super hard to take against triple Stargate opener. But it will be high enough HP by the time herO sees it, so herO can't deny it anymore. And also interesting location of the 4th. Usually most Zerg players tend to take top 4th, as that one is actually super annoying to attack into with Blink. Either you need to kill the rocks or you need to run up a ramp. So I have no idea why Reynor is taking this 4th. Against Terran this would be a better 4th, but against Protoss I think this is the worst one.
This Void Ray wants that Extractor. Queens are gonna punch it back. The other queen showing up. Extractor actually goes down, so a little bit of a gas now here from herO at this point of the game. I'm just gonna be able to grab that as the Blink and +1 both continue through. The Gateway and additional probes are coming out. The Spore Crawl are gonna be there to push the Oracles away, but it's still a few more drones as the Lings make their way to the top. See if they can find anything themselves as herO finishes the wall up that initial ramp, and now it's just gonna be the 3rd base that is open to attacks.
Yeah, that's dope. He now basically has the wall that people usually have. With 1 more pylon in there, but that's not too bad. As hero's hitting a supply block, I think it's not the worst one ever. He already is going up to 6 gas. I think he's just going to play normal again. He did try to play normal once on Frostline and didn't go his way. This early game he also didn't get too much done. But I like that he's just going back to the more straight up playstyle. I don't think just from one game you need to be that discouraged.
Well, +1 blink on the way through. Temple Archives is coming up as we just have the feelings. We'll get ready to deal with Stalkers here soon. I mean, Temple Archives is already on the way as well, so we get that started too. Bring that into play.
Good info from the chat. He actually took this fort because he blocked the other one with a tumor by accident, and he just killed that tumor himself. So yeah, now it all makes sense. Yeah.
Yep, I guess that is a an answer indeed, as we just have the Lings moving about. It's funny.
Reynor going 7 gas. Usually whenever Zerg goes 7 gas, there's some type of all-in. herO rushing Fleet Beacon and second Stargate without any scouting of the drone count. And I believe he's being all-in. I'm not quite sure yet how Reynor wants to attack, because Roach Hydra all-ins are not very good on this map. Since you need to either go through the rocks and then you're in a choke, or you need to run towards the third base and then you're in a choke. What I'm getting at is no matter which way you go, you have to walk through a choke, which is not great for Roach Hydra all-ins. But if your opponent is rushing tech without building units, then maybe it can still work.
Yeah, let's see as LiuLi Hydra will work its way up that left side, so already taking a few steps forward. Just going to be moving through for a couple of moments there and seeing what we can do. Actually going to see an Oracle go down, so we actually got a nice grab there. The Hydra's able to catch that. Obviously 2 split groups of units right now trying to get set up.
That Oracle had 2 stasis wards at the very least, almost 3, so that's a big catch, because that makes attacking a lot easier. This is the time where Reynor needs to deal damage. Tempests are already on the way. This is a perfect time to hit the natural. There's no strict defense yet. herO moves there with everything, which means his left side army can now deal some damage. Good pick off on the gateway. And now the Stalkers are kind of walled off. They blink forward, and herO now for the first time reacts to the left side, loses the next Oracle. The High Templars are on a completely different path. Lings are in the main base. It's chaos everywhere.
Yep, herO has to go and really just go deal with all of this right now, as already a lot of probes are going down, and as you get drawn in all these different directions, this is exactly where Reynor might be able to capitalize. Unfortunately, the Hydra's on the front there on the natural just end up fighting cannons from afar, so that's not even all that ideal. The defense, I think, is being made. Reynor really unable to get anything else done outside of those few Lings.
Yeah, he killed 13 workers, but that's not good enough, because herO was a greedy boy. He has a great army now, and he will have Tempest out before the Lurker Den will even be done. This is what I'm talking about when I am talking about being forced into a late game. There's not much else left for Reynor to do now than to start a Hive and then go into Lurkers and Aspire. But he'll still try to get some aggression out on the map with the 4 Overlord drops filled with Zerglings and then probably another multi-prong. But herO's bases are super fortified now as well. He has so many cannons, so many stacked defense, which will make the defense of the multi-prong a lot easier.
Thing's going to try and grab a few Stalkers on the left again. The Stalker's going to get caught. Obviously should be able to at some point blink, and they blink up to the high ground as Reynor can't do much else, but that Ultra Cavern is coming through. So we're going to see Ultras taken to the stage, and that's going to be his Hive tech of choice for the next few months, which should leave you as Reynor on a pretty aggressive comp, right? Like, is this... I feel like this... I don't see how Ultras work well in this map. Do you have an idea, or...?
Yeah, it's bad on this map. I think it's just good against the army that herO is making.
Okay.
So it will be mostly one surprise fight where the Ultras can shine if there's 0 Immortals. If herO scouts it and he makes Immortals, this is an awful map for Ultras, you're 100% right.
Yeah. It's going to be weird to move them around, weird to get good positions on them at all. That's going to be rough. Couple of depths just going to be firing up. Queen going to take some damage. Couple of drones taking some damage as well. So a few more shots continue to fall. And Ling's going to drop back into the main base. Away we go.
Reynor ignoring the Tempest army, which I think is a good call. Fully sending it on a counter attack, running all of his units towards the fort base, forcing herO to respond. herO recalls, misses a good portion of his units. Maybe now trying to surround Reynor's army in the middle of the map, but Reynor's army is very quick to respond. The mothership is almost by itself. Storm! Storm! Okay.
Oh
That
my
was
God.
crazy for Reynor to engage there, because if herO paid attention, he instantly time warped plus stormed. Those Hydras would all be dead. Now, it was still a bad fight. He loses a lot of his Hydras. And herO keeps pushing forward. The first Ultras are out, but those are +1 Carapace Ultras without armor upgrades. They still should do well against the High Templars that are all face tanking the Ultras right now at the very front. He didn't manage to morph even a single Archon in there, but it doesn't really matter. There's no anti-air left.
Yep. There is nothing really at all to fight, so these Tempests just get a Reign Supreme. The Mothership can do a lot in this scenario as well. And that's exactly where we sit, as the army of herO keeps pressing forward, and he looks to tie the series up 2-2 and to give us a game 5.
Yeah, cool stuff. Usually the difficult part is getting rid of the ground army. Reynor managed to do that with the mass Ultras, but Hydras don't beat Tempests. Like
really.
herO doesn't even need to kite. He has more Tempest than there's Hydras on the map.
Yeah,
I really
just
don't think.
sit in an ache like right, pretty much, as GG
Yeah,
has to be called. Damn. There's no answer for what was a lot of Tempest, because he was building Tempest for such a long time.
Both sides, so
Yeah.
I think it's close.
Close indeed, as we get into the final game of this series. So we are going to go and start ourselves off in the bottom right hand corner with the red Zerg player, which is Reynor.
And his opponent in the bottom left, representing Vibu Gaming or Vibu Gaming, it is herO. Do you know how you're supposed to pronounce this team?
I have no idea. I say Weibo, but honestly, Weibo might be right as well. I actually don't know.
Okay. How? Oh, okay, no, that wall makes sense. Okay, for a second I didn't see that there was a gap that he already left with the pylon. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be impossible to finish properly, but yeah, this wall works.
And drop that spawn pool down, which is nice. Get that interplay. Pool before gas, anything notable there?
Yeah, he went 15 hatch, so hatch before Overlord to make sure that he gets the hatchery down. When he had to play against herO, he asked me what to do on this map. I told him to go gasless and take the bottom side. Then he didn't do it because he never did that before, so he said, okay, no, let me not do that. I'll just do what I usually do. And then right after, Cyril did exactly what I told him to do. And it worked wonders for Cyril, so I think now he copied it and he's going to try it himself.
Well, we'll see if that works out as the drone plays a nibbling game against a probe here. We go back and forth a little bit for just a few moments early on. Cybercore Nexus coming about, the Assimilator and the Pylon coming in as well. And take a few moments. Obviously, Stargate can come down in a moment here from herO. And we can start to guess about what's going to happen.
Yeah, Reynor's taking topside again. He hasn't mined the gold minerals yet, which leads me to believe that he will in fact go for that top base. herO instead mined the minerals to make sure that they're maybe get a sneaky block on that third base. I think it would have been a little bit too late, but the moment you see a 15 hatch, you are expecting the bottom side. The top side makes it a lot harder to defend. To be honest, but yeah, we'll see. Reynor won't have speed to work with for quite a while, and now the Adept arrived even before he took a third base, so this is uncommon. No, now he's gonna take the bottom side anyways. He's just gonna take it super delayed. Very interesting.
Probe's gonna get to that bottom side to keep an eye on things, so as Reynor wants to move down here, he'll have to get a couple units over to push that probe away. And that's Stargate about to finish. Oracle starts up from herO. As that first a couple of Adepts will shade through the natural.
Yeah, there's 3 queens here, there's no way you can shade in there. And now he's gonna be surprised by the probe staying there. Very bad overlord movement, by the way, from Reynor. I have no idea why he has 3 overlords in front of his natural, not doing anything. Now he gets blocked, which there really should have been an overlord there. This early game is not good for Reynor. it's really not good. His third base is gonna be so late. And his Zerglings can't go deal with the pylon, otherwise the depth shade in. It's a very annoying situation for him.
Yeah, hefty delay. Plain and simple. As the drone continues through, the couple of depths are going to keep on shading about. It's going to be seeing a couple of queenslings gathering. Oracle is going to take a lot of shots. There's 3 queens in range right away. Just a step towards that Oracle. He'll push it low, so 3 drones still go down. It's crazy.
Yeah, 1 drone was at the pylon. Trying to kill the pylon by itself, but it didn't succeed. Only killed half of its shields. And his probe is still spotting at the watchtower. It's a very awkward opening for Zerg. The biggest issue is not the drone con initially. It will be that now he's not mining properly with his workers. And then afterwards he's going to have a lack of larva. That will be the biggest issue. He's messing Zerglings now, which makes a lot of sense. Because making drones right now, they wouldn't be mining properly and he would just be flooding money. So messing Zerglings is the exact right step to take. You can try to deal some counter aggression, some counter damage. With our Zerglings, you can try to catch these adepts. And he is pretty fortunate that, well, herO lets that shade finish, where it was not meant to finish. 100%. There's no way this was on purpose, but that he also made the Zerglings because herO wanted to be aggressive with his own adepts.
All things, like you say, can come counterattack. The adepts already heading home. The 2 oracles will try and find their way around the main base. It's going to be seen. Not much to be found, though, so oracles get denied. You know, now you've brought up these oracles not doing as much anymore, I'm going to notice this like every game, like, huh, the oracles really are more boring than they used to be.
They are more boring. They also die less because they just simply don't engage into spark crawlers anymore.
That's so funny. As the couple lings will actually be doing a lot across the map. We get 3 probes out of this little counterattack that goes down, so some damage dealt. Lings still trying to come back in, probes still taking damage. We'll get a full cleanup there eventually as the adepts are going to shade through into the natural, towards the main base even. And yeah, not going to be able to commit to that one. But we do have Oracle's going to activate for the upper right base, looking for the cancel here. And there's no way to get extra health from the hatch or anything, so no way to push the Oracles back either. So that's a cancel, a kill even on the 4th. This is, again, still not pretty for Reynor at all.
Yeah, that was terrible. Not canceling there is very bad for him. So things are going from bad to worse. The one good thing is that herO did make a lot of adepts, which are not too bad for him because he had the early Zerglings anyways. So the extra Docker pressure is gonna hit a little bit later. Also, he already has the bottom mine, so you can take this as an extra base. Now the oracles are gonna try to cancel it once again. The 3rd oracle doesn't have energy, so he won't have the burst damage to work through that extra HP.
Oracles move back over towards the natural. Queen is going to push the oracles away. The few Zerglings still gathering together. +1 and blink about to be done. So here we'll have the option to bring stalkers onto the map as Reynor just makes his way straight through to the infestation pit. And so infestation pit tech, hive tech, etc. will start to come online over the next few minutes.
Yeah, Reynor's playing straight ultra. He's playing mass Zergling into ultra. If there is a Templar Archives, herO realizes this, he can kill him with Charged Icon Stalker, 100%. But it is not that easy for herO to notice. He might simply realize if he plays a lot of Zerg himself that this is way too many hatcheries. You're not supposed to make this many hatcheries as Zerg. But yeah, Reynor has no tech structures. He has no Roachborn. He's relying purely on these Zerglings, and Zerglings are pretty decent against Stalkers. herO blinks all of them forward. Loses a lot of Stalkers there. That was a big mistake. He could have blinked them back one by one, just the low HP Stalkers. I don't know why he had to blink them into the Zerglings there. That had no business being such a good trade for Reynor, who's now going to try to, once again, multi-prong with the Overlord drops. He's actually not going into Ultras, he's going Ling Lurker with a low gas. So it will be just Zerglings and then a couple of Lurkers as the follow-up. As herO's going into Double Robo Colossus delayed. Also interesting.
Well, we have the drop walls going to be spotted by these oracles, so they're not going to be able to do too much just yet. Let's just have the couple of drones continue to come about. Robo Facility, Robo Bay coming online here from herO, so yeah, just going to get his tech up, and Reynor will have a chance at least to see the lurkers coming online.
Reynor's spot in this game is not bad anymore. I think it was bad initially, but because of the tech choices that herO made, because of how passive he was, because of that recall, it's now quite good for him. He basically gambled on this not being any form of charged Icon attack, and that gamble paid off massively. And now he found himself in a position where he actually is the one that has map control, because he has way more Zerglings than he ever was supposed to be being able to build. I don't know why there's 29 workers. This hatchery is also misplaced, so he should realistically pull workers off that base, if anything.
Well, our drop lord is going to unload a few lings over the gold minerals, and we're just going to see Reynor has been very active with these ling counters and these ling drops throughout the series, and looking to see even more success with them right now as he runs into this mineral line, and a few probes begin to drop straight away. 4 workers going down already, and yeah, just going to be very successful there as the rest of the lings split up. Hydra's joining in the fray on that right hand side. Dark Shrine halfway through as well from herO as he gets more options available for himself, and those couple oracles still lingering to see if there's any opportunities.
Yeah, this game went from very good for herO to very bad for him. He's too afraid to do anything right now. He's double upgrading his army, but he's not making extra workers. He's not taking gases at his fort base. I'm not even sure he realizes how many workers Reynor is at, because he went up to 90 workers. And whenever herO checks the one base, there's no gas there and no workers, but it's simply because Reynor has 5 other bases that he has saturated, so he doesn't really need to mine too much from that base. And lurkers should be good theoretically against what herO has as well. It's important for herO to be on the map, because if he lets the lurkers start sieging his base, then he's in trouble, since he's still very stalker heavy. The strength of herO's army is that he can be in the center of the map, and he can keep the lurkers from safely getting towards his side of the map. So he really needs to move out very, very soon if he wants to have a chance at winning this game.
The Colossus now gathered with that army. There's more drop lords going, so Reynor has intentions to find some aggression across the map some way, somehow. He will set those up. Ling drops are heading to the bottom. herO is already taking some steps across the map himself, though. As he revelates here, you'll see the lurkers. He will see what he's working against. He is also going to see the lings on the top right-hand side as the stalkers join up. He can pick a fight, and right now the lurkers are still nowhere near position to protect the top right base at least. So herO going to get a good spot, and Reynor is now having to basically just give up the top right.
Yeah, I think you give up the top right. You even stop mining from this base, but you need to counterattack with all of your Zerglings. I think the Zerglings have no business being on this side of the map. You defend with pure lurker, because herO's army just can't engage into lurkers. And you counterattack with all your links. You have the drop running into the main base of herO. And yeah, that's... Reynor realized as well. Huge stasis ward though.
Yeah, massive stasis as we are going to try and push our way down here. Actually going to blink in. There's only 3 lurkers in this position, so we get rid of all 3 with the stalkers. Now the rest of the lurkers have to come across, but they're going to be quite far back, so this hatchery will take some damage. The drop in your main base, as you mentioned, is going to be going. It's going to force a recall. It's actually a big recall as well. A lot of units going to come back for that. A couple of lings elsewhere as well. So all the lings will go down from the main. Lings in the center going down too. I mean, the big win for Reynor is that he forced herO to go back home. This is a herO who's now building carriers and a mothership. I mean, is Reynor still on a massive timer?
Yeah, that's not great for Reynor. I mean, if you have a Spire, it might be possible, but yeah, now Reynor is the one that should be the one on the aggressive. The one good thing for Reynor there was also that herO misrallied the rest of the units that were not recalled, so he lost like 30 supply worth of units to the lurkers. But aside from that, I mean, the moment the carries are out, there's just no anti-air. Reynor doesn't have the gas to produce Corruptors, and he doesn't even have a Spire.
Yeah, these lings are going to get into this mineral line though, and they're going to get a whole bunch more probes. The lurkers actually in position at least to do some work, and you mentioned that obviously herO's army has no way to fight lurkers right now. There it is in, just being put into example, as we are going to get rid of one of the Stargates, so one of the carriers will not come out either. Still got a couple of lings just here and there, everywhere else as well. The game is in utter chaos, and Reynor getting rid of that forward 4th base. He's starting to deal with the Zealot counterattack too, so he's starting to play clean up there. I'll take a few more lings still, but he's putting it into work, man. It's kind of starting to look like he can do it, especially because now herO only has 22 remaining probes.
Yeah, now herO's all in, but herO's army is better than Reynor's. Reynor will need to go back. herO should engage with the carrier. I don't know what... Oh, he's F2ing it back for the Zergling run by. herO is now the one on the timer. Theoretically, if Reynor makes a couple of spores, he should be fine with the lurkers at home, but he needs to bring those lurkers back home first. for me to make that call. As now they are on burrow, the zealots are trying to flank. The oracles are also above, and all of the lurkers are burrowing. I think you fight this as herO.
Yep.
Lift some of the zealots. Good time warp, good fight. He catches all of the lurkers. That is huge. And his army right now is pretty scary still. He has so much gas, which he uses up all of which now to warp in extra Archons. He lost his detection, so that one lurker is still going ham.
Yeah, one lurker left over, but he's going to push down the bottom side. Now there's just not that much really here for Reynor at all, with a few lurkers on the way back up, trying to reproduce some of those after losing so many to the middle of the map. We're going to get rid of a hatchery here, and what does herO want to do? He's going to pull back to the center again. And we're going to see more Lings counterattack. I mean, we already know herO is all in. Reynolds just going to double down on making sure that's the case. There's one lurker. herO is going to have a revelation. We'll finally get rid of that from just dealing some chip damage throughout the course of herO moving around. And herO is going to get ready to basically push in to try and find victory. Spore Crawlers are unburrowed. Some of the lurkers still not fully burrowed either. As we are going to be a little bit careful, trying to let the Colossus do their thing before we just commit up a ramp into the lurkers.
I think he needs to split up his army better. That's a good move in the bottom with the Immortals. One Oracle is still there for the revelation. He's still F2ing it forward now. All the Oracles are really dead.
Yeah, now he's no detection.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Defense is made, and Reynor is looking like he might survive the lower bracket for another round as herO crumbles again, right? I mean, a couple of games in this series where herO just completely crumbles later as the game goes on. Kind of fascinating the way he dies.
I'm gonna rewind this game. I'm pretty sure this game was also not supposed to be ever a win for Reynor from the position that herO is in.
Yeah, absolutely. I can believe that up to 100%. As herO just did not want to win. I don't know what to say. Like he just made a lot of mistakes, and you're playing at a level where even if you're ahead, mistakes are going to cost you heavily, and that's exactly what we've been saying.
Yeah, I wonder if he could have even won the last fight if he went from if he split his army and then went from bottom and center, because a lot of Reynor's army supply was still Zerglings, which herO's army was actually really good against. I think at that point it might not be the easiest to win the game anymore, but he could have done it better than he ended up doing. He also, I mean, you can see his restriction is the F2. The Oracles always fly forward every single time. Every single time he A moves.
Yeah. I mean, they just donated themselves repeatedly.
Yeah.
Rough as we do have the attempt to move forward here from herO. I mean, a lot of Corruptors now are going to abduct a Colossus, and we should be able to finish that. Apparently not, but we just got some more energy on these Vipers, and we can play abducts for days against each of these units. So, some time. The Lurker's going to revisit. We actually have a DT showing up. There is a Lurker here, and there is Spores, so this is not a problem. Reynor will maintain this base. Might lose a couple of drones, but that's not an issue in the grand scheme of things. As obviously herO on the bottom side is in position to try and force Reynor to fight, basically, and Reynor will just take his time about it.
Yep. He doesn't need to hold the base. He knows his opponent is on his original 3 bases. Very low in workers as well. herO is reprobing. He wants to make this a macro game somehow.
Yeah, well, Reynor's not going to let that happen because he's going to engage into this. Going to drop the time warp, but the Corruptors at least will get a couple of units up in the sky already. And it's already pretty disastrous. Parasitic Bomb is still ticking away. We just about pull the Colossus out of there, as the Mothership will survive too, but Reynor is not silly. He knows that those units are low, and so he's going to go hunting with the Corruptors, and now Recall isn't available as a getaway. There's only a couple of units of anti-air here, so there goes the Mothership, here goes the Colossus, here goes everything, basically. A couple of Archons will be left on the ground with some Zealots, but that ain't going to do anything against the Lurker force that's coming.
Yep. These are unupgraded Lurkers. Like, herO had 2-1 upgraded ground units, and he lost the game against like a straight up 13 unupgraded Lurker push. I'll rewind and check that fight, because yeah,